What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Cjthecheesedj here, and we are back with another Total Warhammer video for you guys today. And today, guys, we've got another juicy battle. Mortal enemies since the beginning. Actually, technically not, because these are Wood Elves. We are playing as the mighty stout Dwarves versus the nature-loving Wood Elves. Now, guys, I am going for a very different build, and this time around, we are going for a very heavy artillery build. So, as you can see, we've got a lot of pieces of artillery. Essentially, we've got a front line of Dwarven warriors, so just a standard armored and shielded variant. We've got Belegar Iron Hammer and a Runesmith. We've got two groups of Trollhammer torpedoes positioned out on our flanks, just in case for any skirmishing units coming in from Vanguard deployment. Another group of Dwarf warriors protecting them. Two groups of Dwarf warriors in the back here protecting the flanks. Two Ranger units over here for any sort of coming over this way. And another group of Dwarf warriors. As for our artillery, we have two organ guns, I believe. Three organ guns, three cannons. 1, 2, 3. Yes, three organ guns, three cannons, and a master engineer in between all of that. Give him a bit of a buff, a bit of a boost to the ammo. As for my opponent, you can see he's got three groups of Wild Riders. One of them is already pretty decimated. He's got two groups of the Dryads and a bunch of infantry back here. He's got two groups of Great Eagles, a Glade Lord on a Forest Dragon, which is absolutely terrifying. And he also has four groups of the Eternal Wardens, as well as three groups of the Glade Guard with the Hag Bane tips. Now, as you can see, we're already doing a pretty solid amount of damage to the units coming up to us. Tried bringing the Trollhammer torpedoes into position to try and shoot down these Wild Riders. They didn't do too good. You can see they're kind of running around here, just waving their big guns around, trying to melee with these guys. Not a good idea. We do switch our artillery to try and target the Forest Dragon, the Glade Lord. Try and shut him down, especially the cannons, because they are anti-large. The organ guns just have very big and armor-piercing effects, and you can see that we are currently popping off into this infantry. Look at the damage coming in. We've got the great cannons firing off on the dragon, and the organ guns are just firing into here. So, as you can imagine, the infantry aren't having a very pleasant time going up against this much artillery. We have done quite a bit of damage though, but you can see his rangers or archers are in range now. Groups of Dryads are engaged with the Dwarf Warriors and the Trollhammer torpedoes. A couple of them have gone back here. These guys are firing in, but the Trollhammer torpedoes aren't as strong as I remember them being. Maybe this is because it's SFO, that might make a difference. But I do remember the Trollhammer torpedoes being slightly stronger. As well as that, we should have really swapped our great cannons off of the Glade Lord and maybe focus down more so of the infantry, because a lot of the great cannon shots have missed, and Belegar would have been able to take on the Glade Lord, I reckon. But you can see the Great Eagles coming in the back here, going to get a nice, we'll try and get a nice dive on the artillery. We do pop our Runesmith to try and get a bit of extra defense. The archers are firing in on our artillery, while these great cannon units did switch over. I'm pretty sure we swapped everything over to target the Great Eagles. Try and deal that extra damage, and here they go, swooping in on our artillery. Here comes the big juicy Eagle attack. Look at that, taking a munch out of the tiny Dwarfs. Poor little guys didn't even see it coming. We do bring our Rangers about, and they do start firing into the Great Eagles as well to try and shut these guys down ASAP. But while this is all going on, we do still manage to get a couple of shots off, and the Master Engineer is back here as well, popping a couple of his buffs, firing his Grudge Raker into the Eagles, and you can see we already do break off one of them, so this one is pretty much at full health. We do send the Dwarf Warriors in. The Rangers are starting to fire in on the Glade Lord as well. But as for the infantry, our front line is sort of holding. A lot of them were softened up by the artillery, but unfortunately all it takes is one group to get through and we are pretty much screwed. And you can see here, we've got a full unit of Trollhammer torpedoes firing in on these Wild Riders, and they're only doing about 400 damage, which isn't a lot. I really should have swapped them out for maybe some Thunderers. We would have done significantly more damage, I reckon. A lot of our artillery pieces are broken and shattered, and that was pretty much our winning chip. You can see here the Glade Lord is in battle. I don't know if Belegar is over here. I think the Glade Lord is just destroying everything he can get his filthy wooden elves hands on. We do send Belegar over here though to try and help out, because, well, obviously these guys are not going to be enough to take on the Glade Lord. We still have the Rangers firing on him. He's just under half health, which is pretty good. Belagar himself is over here. We're still trying to shut down these Great Forest Eagles so that we can try and get some of the artillery back online to shut down these archers. And they are just shredding through our artillery units. These Great Eagles haven't really had much contest on stopping power in the artillery line. But the Glade Lord, he's just taken a munch out of one of the little men. You're not going to get much satisfaction out of that, mate. It's a lot of, I guess you could, I don't know, do dwarves have a lot of fat? They're very stout. So I guess you would get a pretty good feed off a dwarf if you're a dragon. A little bit of friendly fire from the own Wood Elves archers line. You can see a couple of arrows sticking out of the Glade Lord, which, you know, it happens every now and again. Wood Elves aren't perfect for the accuracy. The Dryads and the Eternal Wardens are in here fighting the Dwarf Warriors. A volley of arrows coming down on top of them as well. The other group of Great Eagles are back as well. In between all of this is our poor little runesmith. He's just trying to hammer some runes down, trying to protect his friendly units. You can see he's just absolutely surrounded. But that doesn't stop him from punting an Eternal Warden out into the sky. Come on, mate. Look at him. Look at him getting stabbed. He's just getting pummeled, and he's still not giving up. Come on, mate. Oh, that was beautiful. The Great Eagles are just standing there, not really doing much. Balance of power is still about halfway. Our Master Engineer's got the Rune of Oath and Steel popped down. I don't know why he's moving so slow. He's not even, like, running. We do manage to, I don't know if we break a group of the Great Eagles or if they're just spazzing out over here. Belagar himself is trying to fight off these Wild Riders because these guys are really annoying cavalry. They're obviously going to be dealing a lot of damage. We did try to get his ancestral buff, not ancestral buff, his ancestral summon off. But for that to work, he has to be in combat. So if you are in combat for, I think it's 80 seconds, you do get the chance to summon a unit of Unbreakable Ancestral Shield Bearers with the Guardian ability. And we were trying to get that to proc, because if we got that, I reckon we would have been able to win the fight, because all that's really left is a couple of loose units of infantry, a couple of units of archers that have no ammo left. And you can see that pretty much all that we have left is Belagar, the Master Engineer, and a group of Trollhammer Torpedoes, and like some small groups of artillery that were left. Belagar himself, he's doing a pretty good job, but I don't think we do get the proc off for the Eternal Wardens. You can see he's pummeling these Wild Riders, and he's laying the smack down on them, but he is pretty beat up. The Glade Lord coming in for a juicy charge here on Belagar. Belagar can only do so much against a gigantic forest dragon. He's still going to try and stand his ground and fight this guy off, but the Glade Lord did just take a chunk. And just like that, guys, we do lose due to army losses. I think if we would have managed to get the Ancestral Summon off, we would have been able to probably win that fight, to be honest. Because there was just a couple of loose units of infantry as well as the Glade Lord himself. So unfortunately, we didn't manage to get that off, but our artillery really didn't do too good either. We really should have switched our cannons to target some of the cavalry as well as the infantry units, because we would have done a lot more damage that way and possibly turn the tide of the fight. So guys, that's going to wrap up today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like. Subscribe down below for more. But other than that, guys, I will catch you in the next one. I got this